Steve Stoute did an interview with Shannon Sharp's podcast Club Shay Shay. And he talked about Dame Dash, and he talked really bad about Dame Dash, and I know Dame Dash is going to respond to this, so let's play it.
Even the Dame and Dash interview, as fucked up as that was, he's a gigantic, almost not. He blew it. He had Jay-Z, he had the most important artist of a generation.
So what happened with that relationship? How did that relationship that was so good sour so fast?
Dame's antics were just, it became like people also, over time, you mature. Right. It's like you didn't have friends at 16, but by the time you turned 19, they were still doing the same shit that you was 16, and you're like, I can't. Like, we gotta, you know, you start spending less and less time with them because of it. It's like one of those things where Dame wouldn't change. The way he spoke to people, the way he treated people. He was angry.
About what? Bro, you getting paper.
He was angry because he had a strong perspective about his business philosophy. And if any time a partner of theirs tried to like go around him or, meanwhile, people weren't going around him. The people around him wanted to meet with other people.
Right.
People were becoming less beholden to him, but he was unaware of it. Then he would like, you know, while he was building businesses, which partly he would go off all around the world with cameras and girls and all kinds of crazy shit, and then come back flipping out on everybody as if, you know,
they were wrong.
Yeah. Or like, why'd you guys do all this shit without me? Like, bro, you didn't build a business that was so operationally tight that you could just go away and come back and shit be the same and all that shit. It wasn't even like that. Jay grew up, you know, Jay wanted more. I think Jay seen Dame's ceiling. I mean, I think that's really what it was. I mean, Jay seen Dame's ceiling.
You can't fault a man for wanting to get better.
Nah, he wanted more. And everybody wanted more. Dame just had a very particular way of approaching it. He's far from stupid.
Right.
Very, very smart.
Right.
Very talented. Ego through the roof. So there was no working with him.
Right.
No one wanted to work with him. There was no work. As much talent as he has, nobody wanted to work with him.
People got to want to work with him.
Jimmy Iovine had this line, when the shit gets bigger than the cat, you got to get rid of the cat.
Right.
You know, Steve Stoute kind of broke that down really, really well. I've heard stories of trying to do business with Dame Dash being really, really hard and aggressive. He's hard-headed. And, you know, you can't be like that. And that's how there will be moments where, here's the thing. When you're growing a business, right, at a certain point, you can't do it all by yourself. You're going to have to delegate. You're going to have to learn to trust other people in not only editing your videos, creating your content, whatever, posting social media. Like, you're going to have to give trust into people. And that's what I've been learning to do over the years, is start hiring people, delegating things, and trusting that they're doing the right thing. Now, I've done that and gotten burned, and I've done that and ran into the most amazing people in my life. You're going to run into those type of things. It just is what it is. And I think Dame Dash, maybe, like Steve Stoute was saying, he would go away, come back, and think it was a tight ship and that everybody would report to him, and it's just him, and he's the big boss, and he's got this huge ego. But then Jay-Z kind of noticed, okay, this is not working. This is where he's going to be at. This is his mentality. He's not maturing. I need to get away from this guy in order to elevate. And sometimes you do outgrow people and things. That's just the reality of the situation. How many people's relationships, especially in business, last forever? And ask yourself, why do they last forever? The ones that don't last forever is the ones that, and we're talking business relationship in terms of you're your own boss, you're your own boss. It's two people that are already established own bosses, like Jay-Z and Dame Dash. They're big own bosses. Now, Jay-Z was obviously bigger because he's a superstar. But at a certain point, you guys both have your own things going. And eventually that clashes, or it could be a good thing. Because, like, Jimmy Iovine, Dr. Dre, been great. their whole life. That's another example we were talking about earlier with the Beats by Drake. Been great their whole life. 50 Cent, Eminem, great their whole life. I want to say Lil Wayne and Birdman, but they had a little issues. But they've been for a while together, and right now they seem to be again back together in terms of relationship. Drake, Lil Wayne, cool since 2009. Who else can I throw in there? I'm just throwing out. I can't think of random names right now. But Eminem, Paul Rosenberg. But yeah, you're gonna have relationships where the ones that last forever, I think, is the ones that can stand on their own. Like the people can stand on their own and they don't have to rely on the other person. But the other way around, if you have to rely on another person, that can also, hinge you and cause problems. So I think when people stand on their own, I know it contradicts a little bit what I said earlier, but when people stand on their own, they're less reliant on each other. Thus, the relationship can be a lot longer, and if they need to get into business again, they can get into business, but they're respectful. When one person has to consistently rely on the other person, and if that person leaves, all of a sudden things change, that becomes a twisty relationship. It always becomes like that because, Dame Dash had to rely on Jay-Z to a certain extent. Jay-Z had to rely on Dame Dash, but not as much. So Jay-Z had this kind of out where he could be like, listen, this guy doesn't really act the way I want, I'm out. And he did that immediately. He was like, listen, it's not working. Bye-bye. I'm gone. Doing my own thing. Rock Nation, here I come. Dame Dash, though, had to rely a lot more on Jay-Z. And that can get a mix, especially with somebody with an ego like Dame Dash. That can be a really bad situation. And I dealt with the same thing with a former employee that I had. This person thought that they were the greatest of all time, that they knew everything, that they ran everything, that they did this, that. I was like, listen, this is my company. I'm paying you. I'm funding everything that's going on. I'm respectful to you, and I treat you with respect. I expect that back. I'm not disrespectful to the people that work for me or work with me and never have been because I don't have a big ego. Hey, I'm a human being at the end of the day. I don't think anything that I do is special. I think a lot of things that I do are pretty cool, great. I love some things I'm proud of doing that I've done. But am I over here being like, yo, I'm the greatest thing ever. My shit don't stink. Just the GOAT of everything. No, I mean, yeah, there's moments where I feel really great about the things that I'm doing and stuff like that. But this other person had this inflated ego that I could pick up from the day that I met the person in person. And this person didn't like that I was leading everything, that I was calling the shots on everything. And this person's ego got in the way. This person's jealousy got in the way. And then it caused a bunch of problems and it never lasted after that. That's just, some people just can't be a teammate, like Will.i.am was talking about, a teammate in something big. They have to be the face of it. They have to be the boss, the leader of it, or else it doesn't work. Me personally, I don't give two fucks. I would rather be behind the scenes. Right now, 50 Cent called me and said, listen, what is this diverse mentality thing, right? I'll give you $2 million for it, but don't focus on it. You can hire employees, they can do their thing, blah, blah, blah. You can do it part-time as a part-time thing. You come and work for me at Unit Films and Television. Depending on the agreement, the papers, whatever, how it's going to work, I would be perfectly fine with having to answer to people above me. I have no problem with that. As long as I get my creativity out, that's really all I care about. I think when I'm hindered with creativity, that's where I have an issue, where I'll push back. That's why, I've always wanted to be my own boss in terms of running my own thing, because I can do what I want creatively. What am I thinking? Creatively, I can do whatever I want. And I've had labels try to buy my company, Diverse Mentality, but they take away the creativity aspect, and I don't care. You can offer me $100 gazillion. If you take away my creativity where I can get how I feel out, then I have a problem, and I can't work like that. So that's my problem. And I knew when I hire people, I know that some people like to get off their creativity a lot more, and I let them do that. As long as if 90% of the time, that guy that I hired, I approved a lot of what he did. I was like, listen, that's what you think, that's cool? Hey, I might have done a little bit different, but I fuck with that, put it up regardless. Okay, you thinking that's cool? There might be some things where he'll present something to me and be like, nah, this is way off of what I even had in mind. So, but it will be very slim. Like, he would send me 100 things, maybe 6, 7, 8 things would be switched around. Like I said, 10%. That's not out of 100, 8, 6, 7, 8 things. That's nothing. You know, I know people that literally shut down everything somebody submits and says you have to do it my way or the highway, and that's fucked up. But some people don't mind that. That's the thing. Some people just want to be told what to do, and that's it. They don't want to add in extra. They just want to do their job, what they got hired to do, and that's fine too. But you got to find which ones are like that, and then you got to find out which ones aren't, which ones need more creative control, which ones don't want to have more creative control. So that comes with just starting businesses in general and dealing with people. So it's an interesting take from Steve Stoute. But